Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. We are jumping into the very first traditional Kaladesh Remastered draft I have ever done. My plan was to do a mini set review before this released at 3 o'clock today. However, it released early, so I believe somebody famous once said, I guess we'll do it live. So that's what we're doing here. I'm also using new recording software, so I'm kind of crossing my fingers that this will work properly. And I apologize for missing a day on the YouTube. OBS was crashing so frequently there that I really couldn't do anything. All right, we got to, well, okay. We don't want SRAM's expertise, even though it's quite good. Like, I've played enough to know that this is the card that we want here, because the Unearthed Express is kind of stupid. They took out the regular Pain Train, but this one's pretty good. If it wasn't here, we would be interested in the Chief of the Foundry. You've got, pardon me, you've got a unique opportunity in Kaladesh to stay very open with your first few picks, because there's a lot of good artifacts in this set. It was also not uncommon to have a deck that was mostly monocolor with some artifacts. But this card is just absurd. It's a 4-mana 4/4 trample, and every time it attacks, it gets a counter. It's relatively easy to crew vehicles with Crew 1. There's plenty of stuff that can drive this train. If we're lucky, we wield the Renegade map, but I doubt that we will. Artifact removal is also very first pickable, because a lot of the stuff you're going to be dealing with is artifacts. So like if you're used to destructive tampering from the last core set it was in, it was okay there. It's absurd here. This is killing things that are like very relevant. All right, so designs was fun. However, it's not something we're going to pick here. Rallier gets stuff back. Not what I'm looking to do. I'm kind of thinking about taking that tampering. Fortuitous Find was pretty good. Thriving Rhino was actually pretty reasonable too if we wanted to get into green. The Puzzle Knots were reasonable too, but it's between a solid removal spell versus a Rhino, so I think we're going to take this. Yeah, I'm pretty happy second picking a Destructive Tampering. Kills the Pain Train. There is no Pain Train. That was removed from the set. That's the only thing I know about the set. Hungry Flames was pretty good too, although Cloud Blazer was a lot of people's favorite card in the set. What's up, Crud? I'm doing good. How you doing? Poisoner was okay, but I think I'm pretty happy starting with Hungry Flames and Destructive Tampering. Yeah, there's a Hunt of the Week here too. But I think I'm pretty happy with the Flames and the Tampering, and if we keep seeing good green, we can move into green. Cloud Blazer's very good. Cloud Blazer's very good, but instant speed 3 damage is great. So this is kind of a mishmash of two sets, right? Because it is Kaladesh plus Aether Revolt. So I haven't looked to see what got included, but we did already see the map, Renegade map, I think it is. So that means you could do 3-color decks here currently. All right, this is not as good as our other cards, but I still think I like starting with 3 removal spells and then figuring out where we're going, because like we've got red cut to pieces. Self-assembler was pretty good. I mean, if you got 2 of them, sure. If you got 3, it was playable. But like we're starting with 3 solid red removal spells and this Express. Okay, all of these cards are very reasonable. Bastion Mastodon was one of my favorite cards in this set, and I'm not even joking. People may think that I am, but this card was just huge, and you could put it in any deck. It was the best card you could open in sealed. Daring Demolition was an amazing removal spell. The Tiger's not as good as it looks. I'm actually really stuck between the Propeller Pioneer here and just let somebody else get into this, or potentially the Boar. But the Pioneer gives us a flyer and a crew for our vehicle. Oh god, this is so tough. I think I want the Propeller Pioneer. I think we're going to get into red-white. We'll have to see. Trophy Mage gets only 3 costs. That is not as good as it was. Maybe I missed the boss and should just take this. We can speculate a little bit. I don't want to sneeze. Yeah, we got some green signals. I still don't want to sneeze. I think I'm gonna. Alrighty, here we go. Welcome to Green-Red Artifacts. The deck. Aviary Mechanic was fun too. And again, Fortuitous Find was pretty good. I don't remember these cards being particularly good. But now we've got Ramp and Removal. That's kind of everything we need. This guy doesn't look that playable, but he's fine. High Spire Infusion's fine too. Sasha, thank you for the resub. Y'all spam some cats for Sasha. If you're just coming in, we are doing the YouTube draft. This is my first Kaladesh Remastered draft. So there was another fixer you could use. You don't really need it. The sailback's a little better than it looks too, just because like it's big. But I think I'm going to take the Unbridled Growth and see if we maybe get into multicolor things. It would surprise me if we do, but we could. We're kind of looking at something like this so far. If I get enough energy shenanigans going, I might be interested in a Wood Reaver's Puzzle Knot. We'd also need some Convoke stuff. What did you call the Convoke stuff in this set? Because it wasn't Convoke, but it was Convoke for artifacts. Hijack's not very good. Well, I don't know if it'll be good in this set or not. It wasn't in the previous one. You could build a 5-color deck, but again, this is not Kaladesh. This is Aether Revolt plus Kaladesh. That's a whole new world. Yeah, if I can get another self-assembler, we can do that. If we get 3, I'm just playing it. This guy's actually fine. Improvise, that was it. Thank you. Like, I'll play Ruinous Gremlin. This is a removal spell in this format. This is a pretty good start. So this module, there were things you could do with this. But it's not really what we're wanting to do here. I don't think. This guy was real bad. I don't want to play that. The Gear Shift Ace would be absolutely terrifying with this Unearthed Express. So there's a question of how convinced are we that we want to be in green. Because there's no good red cards here. I think the probable take for us is going to be Attune with Aether. This was probably the most underrated common. Between that and the Unbridled Growth, I can probably go find... I can splash for something if we want to. And if we pick up any energy cards, it gets better. You can just play it over a forest and be pretty happy. Okay, we're green. This card is not fair. I can only assume somebody didn't read it. When this enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. The Mana Leak can tell you how much he enjoyed playing with this card and against this card. There's the map I was talking about earlier. It's also a 5/5 for 5. This card is not fair. Not fair at all, and we're pretty happy to have it. This is a maybe right now. All right, this giant was actually okay. But it wasn't much better than a sailback unless you were just stuffed with artifacts, and we're not. I don't remember Mr. Garrison being great. This was sort of a way to draw cards in red, but you don't really need that. You'll end up with Cathartic Reunions if you're looking for that. I think I probably just take the Sage here and actively start looking for an energy spender. This one doesn't really do anything, right? I mean, it's overcosted and you can make stuff block, but I don't know that that's the energy outlet I really want. I remember the Cobra not being particularly good. I remember Reservoir Walker not being particularly good. Monster Truck's in the set. Heck yeah. It does do a thing with energy, but at what cost? Because, like, you're spending 4 mana for a 3/2. That's not good. You need to be able to get value out of it. That said, we need a way to spend some energy. So I'll see where that goes. Appetite for the Unnatural was main deckable removal. Gearseeker Serpent was very good. But I think I'm kind of down for an Infiltrator here, because I've already got 2 artifact removal spells between the Tampering and the Gremlin. And this is pretty good at crewing vehicles. It's pretty good at hitting people in the face. It's pretty good at being a 3-drop, which we need. But it's fun. What? This card's real good, too. So we've got a map that opens up literally splashing anything that I'd like to at the cost of a Sweatworks Brawler, which I don't think is a big cost. Because I'm already interested in playing the Attune. Heck, I might just splash for one of these if we see another one. The Brawler could be pretty good, but the Brawler existed where there were a lot of 1-cost artifacts. We see another one. How about that? It's up against Appetite for the Unnatural and Prophetic Prism, which was also pretty handy. I don't remember this card. Must have been really bad. I may just splash for this Eagle. Because I've got the fixing to do it. I don't see why I wouldn't. We're a little low on 2-drops, so maybe we just play a Cobra and are happy enough with it. It wasn't the worst, but it's pretty bad. It's funny to go back and look at these cards and remember what was good and what wasn't, and then be surprised at what's wheeling and what isn't. I mean, Bastion Mastodon gets the job done. It's just solid stats. I think it's funny that I've got a Druid of the Cowl cosmetic. Another map. I don't think I need to, but I could play to. Yeah, who knows? At this point, we can splash something else. So the Renegade map is basically the Evolving Wilds of the set. Sort of. Yeah, it was a revolt trigger if you were revolting, but I don't think we're currently revolting. Yeah, that would explain why I don't remember the card. Tailback's fine, too. I remember playing Oatmeal Courage a few times. Just for the shenanigans, though, so I think I'm going to take that. I don't remember being happy when it was in my decks. We can consider a reunion if we're concerned about flooding, because we don't really have any mana sinks. I'd also like to get one thriving creature, if possible. Fragmentize was just good removal back in the day. All right, this guy's pretty freaking good, so we're going to splash for him too. Kind of sad to pass another Hungry Flames, because I think we'd want it, but I was just saying it'd be nice to have some mana sinks. And we've got another map, as well as Unbridled Growth if we need it. So I think this is just crazy. Gearseeker Serpent was great. This is a very good pack. I think we'd be happy with another Outrider. We could probably make Welding Sparks work. We'd want another Hungry Flames, but I was just saying we can splash and I don't have a mana sink. Now we do. This Revolutionary got bigger when stuff died, right? When this enters the battlefield or dies, for each kind of counter on a permanent or player. I remember this being okay. Metalwork was not something we were interested in, neither was Sky Skiff. The Gremlins were okay, but not great. So this is going to work with the +1/+1 counters from the Tusker, potentially. It'll give us some more energy counters, and if we have fabricated onto the Pima Outrider, it'll do something. We didn't go that deep in counters, but it'll still be at least playable. Servant of the Conduit's pretty good for us, too. But yeah, this is coming together. I could probably use one more removal spell. I wish I'd taken that Hunt the Wake, but maybe we'll see another one. Green was very open this direction. I don't need another map. I remember liking this card, but I don't know how good it's going to be here. Here's the Thriving Dude I was looking for, essentially. So I think we probably just take that and be happy with it. Revoke Privileges was pretty good removal, but I don't think I'm looking to splash for removal right now. And another Druid of the Cowl. That can probably push out the Cobra. Because we've got a legitimate ramp plan here. And I don't think it's a bad one. I remember that not being great. We're kind of getting towards the end of the packs, and we don't quite have a deck together yet. Well, I think we can do some stuff with the energy, is the reason I'm interested in keeping the Sage. But like, it's still up for debate which one we want to play. I think I'm actually going to take the Sky Skiff, as we might have some trouble with flyers, and that gives me a way to interact with them. Another Attune with Aether is just great. So would be another Infiltrator. It's a pretty easy double splash for us. Like, we've already got the Servant of the Conduit, 2 Attune with Aethers, and a Renegade map. I probably only need 1 Plains. I don't think we've ended up with enough energy where I'm going to want that. But if I want to make if I want to just play this, we can. I think it could arguably be better than the Weldfast Mentor now. Fun of Hungry Flames. Neat. Pretty happy with that. Again, I don't think we're interested in these, but I might want a Sky Skiff in the size board. Don't really need any of this. This was only good in like dedicated improvised stacks. And if I need more early game, we can play this dude too. At this point, that might also be better than the Sage. But I kind of just don't want to play the Pima Outrider at all. Or not the Pima Outrider, the Aether Seer. I could still see that being somewhat useful though. We'll consider this as we're putting something together here. Because we've got enough creatures, we've got enough removal. Right, so we're essentially going to count these as lands. And this is a removal spell. I don't think I need the Oatmeal Courage. I really don't need the Sage either, though, do I? So that's a pretty easy cut. I think I'm with you there. Is double white viable for incidental activation? I mean, potentially. But I don't know that I can actually fit 2 planes in it. Because the deck's going to be fairly mana heavy at this point, right? Like, we're going to be running essentially, like where we are now, we're going to be running 19 mana sources. I think that's probably actually too many. No, it wouldn't be 19. It'd be 22, 21, 22. Because we're running the Servant and the Druid of the Cowl. I need to play another big card and 1 less land and count both of these as lands. That's going to make the openers a little terrifying, but I think it will give us better late game. I have made a terrible mistake because I should have another Bastion Mastodon in here and I don't. Because that's really all I want right now is another Bastion Mastodon. Whew, that's a little scary. Because, like, I just want another 5-drop. And I don't have one. First draft blunders. YouTube doesn't normally get to see first draft blunders, but you're seeing one here. There should definitely be another 5-drop in this deck, and there isn't. And it has me very concerned. Because I legitimately don't know what I'm going to do. All right. If that's the situation we're in, how do we make do with that? I could consider splashing a Propeller Pioneer 2 and just playing mainly a 3-color deck. It's a pretty easy splash. It gives us something to attack in the air, and it gives us multiple bodies for the Tusker. I could also just play the Cathartic Reunion if I'm concerned about drawing too many lands. And I think that might be my jam. Yeah, I think that's going to be my jam. So we're going to need 1 white. We're going to need at least 8 green, preferably more. Let's start with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that would leave me room for 6 red. I'd almost rather go 1 more green and then just play 5 red. I should put some of the Kaladesh lands in here, huh? Wonder where they're at. Where are they hiding? There they are. And we're not going to forget our Lord and Savior Bolas. So essentially, I'm counting the Attune with Aethers. As long as I have a green, that's why I'm playing so many green, then these will get us the red and the white, and so will the Renegade map. We've also got the Servant of the Conduit, which can make red mana if we have green mana, but not the other way around. So I do need to kind of prioritize that. Welcome back, Joey. This is Kaladesh Remastered. And this is my very first draft of the set. I was expecting it to come out later in the day, so I wasn't really prepared to do this. I was going to do like a mini set review, but here we are. It popped early. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle and then see what I can do with this. We're also doing our YouTube draft, if you're wondering why there is no sweet OC remix tunes. But I remember Kaladesh was good. I didn't like playing the 10-cost construct. What I should have is another 5-drop, but I don't. My buddy Josh Frankel used to do things with that construct. I'm not looking to do that. I don't intend to do a set review now, no. Like, we're doing one right now. I just reviewed all those packs. Techno Shevin with the kills, Wizard's Beard with the assists. Scrolls for Snus, Techno Shaman, Miori Keep, and Sparrow. We have 3. We have 3, but it's still fine. The Servant of the Conduit ramps too. We've got the 2 Druid of the Cowls and the Servant. What that means is we're probably going to have ramp in most of our openers, which I think is a good thing for this. And if we can find the Tusker in the majority of our games, I think we're going to win a lot of games. Did they make a new board for Kaladesh? That's exciting too. I haven't seen that. That doesn't look particularly amazing, but okay. This is just the Dominaria board. I guess they didn't make a new one. It's still fine. Now this can get you mana twice. We want to be a little careful of that, of just throwing it away here. I think I like the plan of Druid into Druid. I could even consider blocking this if we're concerned about aggression, but I suspect I'm going to have the opportunity to get some Oatmeal Courage value. Oh, they don't even want to trade. Okay. Well then. That works for me. I don't want to do that and then not attack. Let's do it next turn and get some good attacks in. Oatmeal courage! Yeah, I don't remember where they went either. It's been a long time since we played that. Since I've played that, at least. I mean, we're just attacking here. Yeah, the set has slowed down a lot. A lot of streamers did set reviews to explain that this was not an aggressive set. And I laughed so hard when somebody told me that I very nearly choked. Like, the set has 5,000 ways to go wide and pump a team. It can be very aggressive. Now, you can still build a controlling deck. I played plenty of 18 land control decks back in my Kaladesh days. But just to say that it's not an aggressive set, I was like, what y'all talking about? Yeah, there may be an update for Cardboard Live at some point. There just does not appear to be now. Don't think we really have many changes here unless we want to be concerned about flyers. White did have a significant amount of them. So I could sort of see bringing in the Artisan. But I don't think I actually want to make any changes here. Yeah, it has some cards added and removed, sure. But like... I saw at least one card I didn't recognize. Michael said it was from like the intro packs or something. Yeah. Guess who's dying? You. Because we are hungry for you. That thing's pretty good too. Like, it's big. They are not going to like this. You thought you were blocking a 5/5? No. You blocking a 6/6. So why do you main deck artifact removal? So you can do that. How good is this sailback right now? It may very well kill me. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. Turns out we were right to be a little worried about them flyers. Because they can kill me in 2 turns with this, basically. It's a grid card. I hope their follow-up's a big artifact. Oh no, not a combat trick. Not 2 combat tricks. Why wouldn't you just kill me? They are banking on I got nothing and I'm dead next turn, which is interesting because I got nothing. And I'm dead this turn. Alrighty. So we were correct to be a little worried about flyers. It looks like they're not actually playing that many artifacts, which is interesting. We're going to need a Cobra. We're going to need an Artisan. And I don't think we're going to need this I don't think we're going to need this Gremlin. I can probably trim the... Well, the Eager Construct does play nicely with the Gremlins. I'm not certain that they're not playing any artifacts. That would be a little crazy, right? So I think we can keep the Destructive Tampering in. But I think I can pull the Gremlin and be pretty okay with it. Probably you can just cut the Aether Seer. It's not very good. Super slow as speculated. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, not a slow format. It can be. You can build a control deck here. But it is not something that you're typically doing. Oop. Boop. Gonna try to bluff in a point. This can do ping creatures, so I kind of do need to kill that. But I don't need to yet, because we drew a Bastion Mastodon. Which, as I've mentioned, is one of the better cards in this set. So if we hit a land, I can Revolution that if I'm worried about it. And still have the Cobra to make this hit for another 4. My plan was to play both of these and hit for 6, but we can still totally do that. Okay. Do I still want to go with this line and just hit him for a bunch of damage? No, I think it makes more sense not to worry about this. No, they've got bigger stuff, bigger fish to fry. Like if you want to ping my Cobra, I'm kind of okay with that. Because that's all you're getting out of it. And we know they have 5/4s. Like that would be a legitimate problem. And the revolution is a coming. Now, this is about all I've got. So we need Cathartic Reunion or something big here to get back in the game. But I think this is a pretty dang good start. It's basically Time Walk and I lose my Cobra. What? I don't know how they're not killing my Cobra, but I'll take it. This pings creatures, right? Yeah, this totally pings creatures. They just don't want to. Maybe they didn't know it pinged creatures? I don't know what to tell you. I did not have that. We were close. But we did not have that. That said, I'll take it. All right, as has become tradition, my eyeballs are floating. I'll be right back, YouTube. Chat, spam emotes to keep YouTube entertained.
Spam some Corgo to keep chair entertained.
Thank you for the Corgo bits, and thank you for spamming emotes. That squid got a little discombobulated there, huh? All right, let's party. Well, so far I like Kaladesh Remastered if I get to win a bunch. Huge fan of winning. I think I'd always choose winning over not winning. This is an awkward start. Because I don't want to turn one map. It got better. Where were you last turn, you stupid druid? I think not winning helps you to win in other ways. I suppose anything is possible. We'll pretty happily trade this for their ramp card. I need to get this hand out as fast as possible. So I think we're gonna... I can Pima Outrider and cast the other Druid of the Cowl this turn. If I'd just top decked a land there instead of this, we'd have been in better shape, but I didn't, but it's okay. Why didn't I play 2 white? Somebody should have told me to play 2 white. Whirler Virtuoso, I remember that. It was a good card. Guess we make a pair of 5/5s and go in. Spamming emotes is also always welcome, because I need to get this boar off the table. And I'm ready to let go of the thriving rhino. Arguably, this is more dangerous. But I've got attacks otherwise. Yeah, they're going to have to block with that later. That thing's kind of terrifying. Fortunately, we have a Bastion Mastodon. It's a 2/2 double strike right now. It's going to turn into a 3/3 double strike and eventually a 4/4 double strike. Why would I not just block like this? So that if they've got a trick, they need to use it, and I still have the Mastodon, which could block it next turn and trade with it. Like, why is this bad? I mean, it's bad because they presumably have a trick, but... Okay, it's a pretty good trick. But they won't have it for next turn. Everybody gets Aether Torch Renegades today. I don't know that I care for that. Yeah, come the revolution, we'll be fine. That means I don't even have to block it. I just take 8. Well, 10. Is that the best this is going to be, is prevent 10 damage? That seems pretty good for a card. The problem is now the revolution doesn't kill it, so I may actually be in some trouble. Because Revolution only does 4 damage. So I got problems, yo. I got big problems. Because it is now certainly in chump block territory. And I don't really have anything I can draw that can stop it. And we know what our next draw is, and it's not good enough. So, yeah, taking 10 damage doesn't strike me as ideal. I was good until they drew this 2-3. This is a 2-mana 2-3, by the way. Real slow format. Real slow format. I have no idea what I can do to get through this. I don't think I can get through this. Let's see if they make some weird blocks here. Because that would potentially be a start. But I don't even think I have anything that can kill this now. I suppose one of my outs is to top deck a Tampering and actually be able to kill them. So I would need them to take 7 damage here. Because they can 10, 11, 12, 13 next turn. So this looks bad, but I think this is actually my out. I think my out is that they take all of this damage. And that our top card is Destructive Tampering. Because if it's not, I'm dead. I really needed them to just take this. But they are too smart for me. So now I need to draw a removal spell that I don't have. That's going to be a challenge. Good grief! No, we wouldn't have to chump with the Mastodon. I think we'd have ended up at like 1. Because there's 12, 13, 14, 15. They have drafted Kaladesh before. Yeah, it's going to be a 6/6 double strike anyway. Oh, fair enough. Maybe I would have. I was figuring they wouldn't attack. I didn't think they would block with the Renegade, and then I didn't think they'd attack with it. Because they kind of couldn't. So we're going to have to adjust our plan a lot to beat them. Again, didn't really see any artifacts for us to nab with this. I'm going to need Hijack, because that's one of my few. That's like another way to sneak through this. I'm not a huge fan of Hijack, but here we are. We're going to need it. I may even need Precise Strike to like 2-for-1 myself and trade with that thing. What's up, Hunter? I enjoyed Kaladesh a lot too. I thought the gameplay was quite fun. I'm still not quite sure how I beat this nonsense. They've got a really good deck. We do get to be on the play. I mean, I thought we did draft a really good deck. It's just that was better. That was way better. Because I managed to get like the token deck, but not the energy cards we would need for this. This is not really much of an aggro card. It's a forcing through damage card. The monitors can be good if you've got the mana to spend on them, and I'm not entirely convinced that we do here. Yeah, I think this is about all I've got, is try to bring in a hijack and steal a game with it. It amazed me how much I remembered of this format. Okay. I remembered Bastion Macedon was amazing. Well, I'm going to try to play a train. And I remember Midnight Oil because everybody was like, it's bad, and kept passing it to me. And I was like, cool. Magic. What's a magic zoomer experience? Uh-oh. This could be bad. This thing was pretty good too. It's a 2-mana 4/3. Zoomers are the people I'm not. Oh yeah, that's the generation under me, right? Oh, okay. You're gonna enjoy it. It's a fun set. It's aggressive. I've heard tell of everybody doing set reviews and saying that it's a slow format. They didn't play this either, if they're saying that. Is Aetherworks Marvel good in this format? No. I mean, you can try it and you can have some fun. I would hesitate to call it actually good. Man. Oh, man. And I have to stop this first before we can have any more fun. We're not going to have any fun until the revolution comes. Well, yeah, that's the thing. You could build a control in a dirtily deck. And that was fun and I enjoyed doing it. Probably just want the Mastodon here. It blocks this without causing any problems. The Druid was great. Ugh. But we ain't racing them. But I would agree, a 2-mana 4/3 trample is a really good sign of a very slow format. The open colors are the best in Kaladesh. Whatever colors are open, what you should be going for in Kaladesh. I'm going to have to block with my Untethered Express, and this makes me very, very sad. Because another combat trick will just get me. That is not nature's way. Oh, I'm so scared. Because I want to double block it here, but then I don't have anything to crew with, and I go to 1, and I'm going to die to a Druid of the Cowl. This sucks. I don't think they're ready for my Oatmeal Courage, though. Hi-yah! Gotcha! How do you feel about that? Of a complete breakfast. Yeah, it's not that the Monitor's a bad card. It's that their deck is absurd. It's a fine card. It's just, like, it's going to be very difficult to compete with what they're doing anyway. You can't handle me at my cereal cowardice. You don't deserve me at my oatmeal courage. It's a mid-range deck. I mean, it's Semulin. I'm going to draft a mid-range deck. It's a little bit more rampy. Ooh, lordy. I should just be dead to this, right? More or less. But this is where I was explaining that, like, I don't think we're beating them. If this was... All right, so what could I do? 4, 5, 6, 7. But I can't destructive tampering and hijack in the same turn. But I'm dead 5 different ways now. Okay. Yeah, the Flames is going to kill me. The Flames is going to kill me. There's nothing I can do about it. Well, this is the second time they've played it, Beware. Because they got it back with Wildest Dreams. Yeah, I think we're just kind of dead here. Oh. What are your favorite style of decks to play in general? Mid-range. And no, I don't play standard or historic. Yeah, I don't have any outs here, right? Because we're essentially at 1, and I can't block the trample. We're just dead. We're just dead. That's rough. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle, and then we can see if we can get a 2-1 out of this. I was hopeful that we could win these, but they had some good cards I couldn't beat. I was pretty happy with the Tusker. Hunter, the Tusker is kind of the best card we have for our deck, which is great. The card's absurd, but it ain't doing enough against that. Such a different experience playing against those two decks, because the first one seemed pretty bad, and that one seemed pretty absurd. Have a good one, Reckoner. Thanks for stopping by, man. Thank you. And thank all of you guys and gals who have participated in the big boy push we're doing right now. Odd Jobs with the kills, Allura with the assists. Pardon me. Gold for Fort Jimmy Sparrow, Scrolls for Ruckus, and Atomaniac. We go ahead another blue chest here. And we need tanks. Tank. I see folks asking some questions about Kaladesh. At the moment, we're streaming and recording a video for YouTube. I will jump in and give you some general thoughts about the format. Now, again, it's Kaladesh Remastered. This is not exactly what I've drafted before. Thank you, Dave. I'm going to need you. But I do want to finish this draft for YouTube first. Pretty easy one land keep. Remastered does mean no more Renegade Raider. It is gone. It no longer exists. This probably needs to die. It's quite good. So I'm not going to fiddle around with this. Let's just make sure the darn thing's dead. I could play the construct and see if they want to trade, because they just got a scry with this. I wish I could go back and see if they went top or bottom. Exclamation point YouTube will give you that. Now, what you'll see there is just the draft experiences. Yeah, I think I can maybe get away with this and play my map. From the Revolution. That'll be pretty good. But YouTube has draft videos. If you want, like, in-depth stratagems, we can talk about that soon. This card's really bad. It is not great. Heart of Kirin was pretty good in draft, yeah. Yeah, we may as well get the instant speed value out of this. It needs to be in play first. I may just be too proud to kill that. I guess I'm not too proud to use a combat trig to kill it. Yeah, you need to have it in play for it to do anything. Mr. Garrison. Man, I'm pretty good at drawing lands. They could have activated the garrison in response to that and hit me for 3. I was using that. So I started with Revised and have been into drafting for most of that time. All right. The red-white, presumably with some vehicles in addition to this one. And we do need to be careful about the aerial responder. This thing is actually pretty good. They called it the White Hawk at the time. Cobra's reasonable adjacent here. The Sky Skiff can solve some problems, but not a lot of them. Mana's so good, I'm tempted to bring the Propeller Pioneer in as just a 3-2 flyer. Masks. I stopped playing during Prophecy because I didn't enjoy it. But I know different people like different formats. Yeah, I think that's going to be better for me than this stupid Aether Seer. And I think we probably make Hunter happy by bringing in a Weldfast monitor, and I think he's got a point here. I would need to cut another 3-drop, and I don't really want to cut the Gremlins, but I think it's the right one. All right. I played from Revised until Prophecy, and then took a break from Prophecy until... When did I come back? It was actually Scars of Mirrodin. And played from there until Eldraine, and then came back with Ikoria. Didn't even have to spend mana to destroy an artifact. That was a pretty good draw. Well, that functionally doesn't matter. We don't know what the cards are. Untethered Express, still pretty good. Still pretty good. Choo choo. All right, viewers from YouTube, thank you for watching the video. If you would like to watch the drafts live, you can do so at www.twitch.tv/Semulin. We'll be playing more Kaladesh, we'll be playing more Zendikar, and if something good comes out in Best of 1 again, we'll check that out. I would have done more Ikoria if I'd known I got Best of 3 Kaladesh, so sorry y'all didn't get more of that. But thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Chat, say goodbye to YouTube.